Hi everybody, it's Tom here from ElderFit. Welcome back to our channel. Normally we do exercise videos to promote our strength in our legs, our arms and our tummy and work on our balance. And these are generally to help prevent having a fall. What we haven't spoken about is if you were to have a fall, how you should get back up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to assume you've got yourself into an all fours position and you've made your way to a stable object. And we're going to talk you through the process of getting back up onto that chair.
Hi everyone, Gareth here from ElderFit. So I'm with Tom and we're just going to talk you through the process now of getting up from the floor from the all fours position. And we're going to assume that you've made your way now to a stable object in the house, whether that be the stairs, a sofa, we're using a chair. So you can see now Tom's in his all fours position. We're going to just move forward ever so slightly so that we're in a position where we feel comfortable enough to take hold of the chair with both hands. We're going to stay here for a second just to get our breath back, and you can relax at any point if needs be. What we're going to do next, using our strongest leg, is take a nice strong step forward, placing that foot flat on the floor. Okay, we're going to try to keep the tummy muscles pulled in throughout and hopefully maintain that neutral spine. Using a little bit of power now through the legs and the arms, we're going to push through the legs and the arms to come up, bringing that back foot in. We're going to maintain this little shallow squat position for a second and then making sure our weight is distributed evenly through both feet. Now, nice and slowly, we're going to place both our hands just on the top of the thighs and we're going to start to straighten the legs while we walk the hands up our legs to come up to that upright position and making sure not to put any pressure through the back. We're going to stand tall. Okay, now before we sit back down on the chair, taking as many steps as you need, we're going to turn 180 degrees, lifting the feet up. We want the chair behind us, and again, before we sit down, just start to feel the chair on the back of your legs. So you might need to take a couple of little steps back. Okay, using the principles of a squat now, which we've shown you through some of the other videos, we're going to keep the chest lifted and we're just going to sit backwards and down into the chair nice and slowly back to our seated position. Perfect. So we've talked you through the process of getting up from the all fours position, but the reality is if you do have a fall, you're either going to end up on your back or your tummy. So we're going to talk you through now the process of getting up from the floor if you do end up on your back in this supine lying position. Okay, so the first thing we need to decide on is a direction in which we want to turn to come out of it. So for the purpose of this video, Tom's going to turn to his right, which is towards the camera. Once you've decided on a direction in which you want to turn, we're going to bend the knee of the opposite leg, okay? So the side in which we're going to turn, that leg is going to stay straight. The other leg, we're going to bend and bring that foot flat on the floor. The same side as the bent leg, that arm now, we're going to take it out to the side, stretch it out and just let it rest on the floor there. This other arm, the right arm, we don't want it too close to the body, but it can just kind of stay on the floor where it is for the time being. Okay, so we know now we're going to turn to our side and we're going to initiate that movement by turning our head in the direction in which we want to turn. So we're going to start to turn the head to the right. Then we're going to bring the outstretched arm over the body and we're going to use that momentum and we're just going to start to move from the hip, bringing that leg over. And we're going to rest that hand on the floor. And as you start to roll over, we're going to now tuck both those knees up in towards the chest. And that inside arm, we're going to use that to rest our head on. And we're just going to hold this position for a second. And this is our side lying position. We're going to take a second here. And then we're going to talk you through the process of getting onto all fours. Okay, so now from this laying position, our side lying position, we're going to come up onto all fours and we're going to go into kind of like a side sitting position. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that that hand that is flat on the floor is around about in line with our shoulders. We're going to have to use our arms a little bit here to push ourselves up off the floor, okay? So using that arm and that hand that is flat on the floor, we're going to start to push through that arm and then we're going to untuck the hand under the head and we're going to place that palm flat on the floor as well. Now, trying to keep the chest lifted, we're going to walk our hands nice and slowly in towards our body, raising the chest up away from the floor. Okay, now this is our side sitting position, and we can hold it here for a second or two, and just take it nice and slowly. When we are ready, we're going to come now to our all fours position. So, before we do that, we're just going to start to rotate the chest and the head down towards the floor. And as we do that, we're going to have to use a little bit of power. We're going to rotate through the hips, keeping our tummy muscles pulled in. And we're going to bring the hips up so that we come up onto our knees, pushing through the arms. And in this position now, we just want to make sure that we take a second. We want our hands under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. And we're back to our all fours position. So we're going to walk now nice and slowly towards the chair in preparation to get up. Okay, hands onto the chair. The strongest foot, nice big step forward. Take a second, push through the legs and the arms, little shallow squat here, hands onto the top of your thighs, walking the hands up to stand you upright. We're back to our standing position, so we're just going to turn nice and slowly so the chair's behind us. You're going to feel the chair on the back of your legs before we perform a little squat, sitting back into our chair. You got it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take one hand from under our head, and that hand now, we're going to bring it up and out to the side, making sure that that hand is flat on the floor. Once that hand is flat on the floor, we're going to use that arm to push through that arm and gently roll ourselves the other way. And as you start to push through the arms and as you start to roll away, we're going to gently bring our knees and tuck them up in towards our chest. And at the same time, we're going to slide that other arm back underneath from the shoulder and use that other hand to support the head again. So bringing those knees up into the chest and just taking a second here. We're going to check now that the palm is still flat on the floor, kind of in level or just above the shoulder. And then again, using that hand, we're going to push our weight away from the floor. And as we push our weight away from the floor, we're going to bring that hand from under our head. We're going to bring it from under the head, just place it flat on the floor. So both hands are now flat on the floor. Our chest is facing the floor. We're going to keep the tummy muscles pulled in, and very carefully we're going to start to walk our hands in towards our hips so that the chest comes up slightly. Now this is our side sitting position, so we can take a second here to recover and just continue to breathe in and out. So keeping those tummy muscles pulled in, we're going to go to all fours now. So we take our hands out away from us slightly wider than shoulder width apart. And we're going to prepare to push through the arms and just start to bring the hips up off the floor, coming up onto your knees. Good. Now in this position, using your strongest foot, nice strong step forward, placing that foot flat on the floor. Use the arms, use the legs, pushing up. In this little half a squat, this shallow squat position, hands onto your legs now. That allows us to walk ourselves to that upright position. Take your time now, turning 180 degrees, lifting the feet up, small little steps. We want to make sure we can feel the chair on the back of the legs before we perform our little squat back into the chair.
Thanks everybody for watching this video. We've spoken about getting up from a fall, from the all four position, the on the back position and on the front position. If you've got any questions about those movements, because they're quite technical, leave us a comment below and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. What we also would say, if you do have a fall and you might have hit in your head, you feel like you've broken a bone or hurt a joint, sometimes it's worse to actually attempt to get up. We advise calling a neighbour or an ambulance and taking it from there. Obviously on this channel, most of the videos we do are to help you try and avoid having a fall, hence strengthening the legs and doing our balance exercises. So we would recommend that you try checking some of those videos out and working on those. Also, shameless plug, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, because it always helps the channel. And we'll see you again very soon. Bye now.